Hello everyone, it is November 22nd, 2016, and I've got a couple things to talk about today. Nothing really important, as usual, but just things to discuss. So, if we look over here, there's a bit of a change. The mean green purple machine is no longer. I'm getting rid of it because the reservoir is leaking, the reservoir is non-repairable, and non-replaceable because I can't find a single one anywhere online or anyone that's even like it. So what I'm going to do is sell it, and we have it down there. I've cleaned it up to the best of my ability, and I've got the video card in there as well because the cooler, or the block for the video card only fits a 9800 series card. In my case, a 9800 GTX. So I'm going to sell it with that because I don't need a coolerless GTX 980, or 980 GTX, 9800 GTX, yes, that's what it is. I don't know what I've been saying for the past couple times I've talked about it. So yeah, I'm just going to sell this thing as a whole, sell it as is, tell them exactly what's wrong. I mean, the reservoir is leaking, I can't fix it, maybe you can. And this really is kind of sucks, but I've given it, there we go, I've given it a lot of thought, and it's not really worth my time, because, first of all, I'm only going to use this thing a couple days, like, out of the year, quite honestly, and it's a huge heavy case, so moving it around is a pain, storing it is a pain, worrying about it leaking, and if I was really worried I'd drain it before I put it away, that's a pain. So it's really just not practical. It's cool, and, you know, I really like it, but it's not doing me any good, and if I can get some money for it, which I'll be doing locally, I'm not selling it online, by the way, then that'll be great. You know, get it out of here, somebody will enjoy it, and I won't have to worry about it anymore. So, the guts of the mean green purple machine are now in here, which I'm simply calling the Windows XP gaming rig. This is a really cheap case. It's the one that my grandmother's computer was in. Super cheap. Oh my god, is it cheap. But once you get some real components in it, it actually starts to get a little more rigid, and it's not too bad. The only things that I've added since you've seen it last are a Zip 100 drive, because I had it, and, you know, I might need it at some point, and a floppy drive. Everything else is exactly the same. I decided to put the 4870 in it. I don't know what you last saw, but that's what's in there for a graphics card. But yeah, it's all the same stuff, just in a different case. And it runs great. It's pretty quiet. It's nice. You know, no complaints. And it's a lot smaller, and it's just it's better for me. So I apologize if you're looking forward to that build. I was really looking forward to it in the purple case, but I even filmed a 30-minute video of cleaning the case up, draining the liquid cooling system, testing it, and I have it uploaded, I just haven't released it yet. So I might pull it back down, add a little disclaimer at the beginning that says, you know, I'm not going to be able to finish this project, and then re-upload it. It sucks, but, you know, it is what it is. I've got the NAS up and running. It's been working perfectly for the last week, which is awesome. My plan is to make sure I have everything off of this Seagate NAS, then erase it and use it as a temporary backup solution for everything on here, because although this NAS has been working just fine, I'm not 100% confident in it just yet, and I don't know, if the power supply dies and takes out all my hard drives, I want to have a backup. Quick little note, I bought a bunch of these keypads at Goodwill for like 99 cents a piece, and I thought, well, that's a great idea, because FreeNAS, you know, uses, well, there's a bunch of crap on the screen right now, but it's got usually a menu that says 1 through 13, what would you like to do? So I thought, oh, it's a great idea, we'll just type in 13 and, you know, reboot the system. Well, I didn't realize that in order to do that, you need letters. You need a Y or an N. and this does not have a single letter on it. So that was kind of a failed idea, and I thought I'd just share that because it's kind of funny. This box up here is something that I'm finally getting rid of after about a year and a half. This, well, the actual thing is down there in the dark. It's a Lenovo 24-inch monitor. I bought it for like $30 or something in a non-working state, thinking it had a bad power supply, which it did. But the power supply was just outright bad. It wasn't a capacitor issue like I know that a lot of these were plagued with. It's actually like a voltage regulator or something. I don't know what the hell's wrong with it. But I wasn't able to find a power supply for this for about 6 months while I was actively searching for one. And I just, out of nowhere, decided to do a quick search on eBay, and there was one that was listed just the other day for $20. Exactly the same, same model number and everything. This thing on there, which is very important. There's a lot of them that don't have that on there. So, $20, I purchased it right away so I can get this monitor the hell out of here. It's been a sad situation for that monitor. I wanted to fix it right away and flip it, but it just didn't end up happening. Got a couple things down here. Nothing you haven't seen before, just the Power Mac G4, 2 other G4 systems down here. The Packard Bell monitor. Now this is something I'm really... Let me turn off this monitor up here. Something I'm really kind of back and forth about. It works, and it matches my C110. In fact, it came with the C110. But it takes up a lot of space, and it's not even a good quality monitor. From what I understand, somebody told me in the comments of one of my last videos, either it has a low dot pitch or a high dot pitch or something. I don't recall how that works. I think it would be low. That would make sense. But it's just a cheap monitor, so it doesn't look very good. And I'm used to the Sony Trinitrons and, particularly, I always screw that word up, the Dell Trinitron monitors. So this thing just, I'm so unsure of what to do with it. I'd like to get rid of it because honestly, I'm not really going to use it, but it matches the computer and I kind of want to use it. I don't know. And it's in nice shape, but I figure I'll keep it around for a while, maybe throw it in the closet, and if after a year I have no intentions of using it, I'll just get rid of it, It's not doing me any good here. I'm going to use it so rarely, and if there's somebody out there who collects these things, then they'll be much more happy than I am to have it. So I don't know what to do with that. That's a story for another day, I guess. A quick story for right now, though. My GTX 1070. A lot of people have had issues with stuttering. And my card is one of those issues that... My card is one of those cards that has that issue. It doesn't matter what cable I use, what monitor I use, what kind of connection I'm using. It's a steady frame rate, or at least that's what the computer reports, but it'll stutter, like it'll go perfectly at 60 FPS for a long time, then it'll stop really quickly and then keep going. It's not like a drop in frames, it's a drop of all frames. It just completely freezes for a couple seconds. Less than a second, actually. But it's very annoying, and it's very distracting. Especially for, a $450 card, you would expect it to perform a little bit better. So I sent them in my serial number, and they actually give you a thermal pad kit that you can install yourself, because I guess the thermal pads are an issue. And some of these have even been lighting on fire and blowing up. So that's on its way. I've got to kind of investigate if I can replace the thermal pads myself. I would assume that I can, but I would assume that would also void the warranty. So how does that work? How the hell does that work? last thing I want to talk about, I am watching a video right now. I am going to be, in between other things, kind of archiving data from some older websites. So let's take a quick look here. In computer stuff, I've got, I really need to clean out a lot of this stuff, but I've got, for example, WinWorld PC. That website, I think, went down for a little while and kind of worried me because I didn't want any of that stuff to go away. But, you know, I understand it's a guy, I think it's just one guy who runs it from his house, but even though it's kind of a dick move to hammer his bandwidth and whatnot, I really want to get some of that stuff for myself because I might actually use it. And a lot of the stuff that's on there is not able to be found anywhere online at all. There's also this. Yeah, this website, for example, is another really oddball one. They've got an archive of IBM PS2 reference disks, which I know that for a lot of these... Oh, yes. I didn't even see this. I am so happy. I'm glad I looked at this. Sweet. Okay, so for a lot of IBM systems, they need a reference disk in order to kind of like configure the BIOS, but it's not really the BIOS. I'm not really strong on that kind of stuff. I haven't had one of these PS2 systems for a long time, but you need a disk in order to make it work, basically. And this website has all of this stuff. So I was very happy to have just seen this. There's an archive full of all of the files on this website. It'd be nice if, you know, they were named something different, but that's okay. That is perfectly fine. Huh. Awesome. So anyway, that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be downloading a lot of stuff today. A lot of these really obscure things and archiving them for myself, just so I have them and so that if this website, which, you know, it's probably, again, done by somebody, you know, running out of their basement or something, if that ever goes offline, I will have the files so I can have them or whatnot. Whatever. I'm rambling on. That's enough for this one. I hope you enjoyed, and we will see you in the next video.